Trump signing the executive order making flag burning illegal. If you agree with this, one, I remind you to hit that like button. But two, if you agree with this, let's get those American flags blowing up in the chat right now. Let's play it. Go.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits,
Yes.
no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way, did they?
Yeah, incitement is in there.
Incite to riot, and you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record.
Boom.
And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Amen. Amen. Joe, just before we even get started, I want it to be known right now, I 1,000,000% in every facet of everything agree with this in every capacity. And I love the wording that they used in this because, and before everybody's like, it's the First Amendment right to burn a flag. Yes, you moron, in your own backyard. Yes, you're exactly right. Only morons say stuff like that. It is your right to burn a flag in your own backyard and post it on social media. Absolutely. But just like you can't yell fire in a crowded room. Why can't you yell fire in a crowded room? Why? Because there's a potential for what? Todd?
Yeah, getting trampled, a riot.
Yeah, somebody getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go on this, let's go ahead and I want to, because I know Todd's got his thoughts on this, but I want to lay this out first before we get into the First Amendment argument. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I wrote all this stuff down. All right, key wording in the executive order. People that think that I just, don't do my homework. Here we go. All right. There's unique wording in the executive order. Quote, uniquely offensive and provocative. This describes flag desecration as a statement of contempt and hostility, suggesting it, due to recent events, may incite violence and a riot. It acknowledges the past Supreme Court ruling, Texas versus Johnson in 1989 and U.S. versus Eichmann in 1990, but argues desecration that incites imminent violence or crosses into, quote, fighting words is not protected. And that's 1,000,000% true. Freedom of speech, you do not have the right to incite violence. It directs the Attorney General to prioritize enforcement, calls for litigation to clarify the First Amendment boundaries, penalties. If you burn it, you get a year. The immigration angle: foreign nationals who desecrate the flag may face visa denial, revocation, deportation, or blocked naturalization. All right, here we go. Bottom line, Trump's order does not overturn the Supreme Court precedent, but tries to carve exceptions by tying flag burning to violence, property damage, or immigration enforcement. It is, and therefore it does test the limits of the First Amendment, but it does fall within the precedent that if you buy a flag or you take a flag down in your own home and you burn it in your own yard, there's no problems. Absolutely, you have the right to do that. If you are in a public protest and you're burning an American flag in the public protest, this is saying that it has more likely than not to incite violence, anger, hostility, and people can get hurt. And as we've seen for the past 4 years, that is most always 100% the case. These flag burnings happen, and then the next thing you know, police are having to put tear gas out, people are getting stabbed, all this other stuff. It is an act of hostility towards the government. It is an act of hostility that incites violence within riots and protest. Todd.
There's no way this is going to stand. I'm sorry. Listen, all right, and this is a very weird opinion, okay? And a lot of people are about to be pissed at me, and that's okay. Now, let me be clear. The civilian in me, the civilian in me, if I'm walking around town, and I see somebody pull out an American flag and take a lighter to it, I'm probably going to put my hands on you, okay? I'm more than likely going to put my hands on you. And my patriotism, my love for this country, my love for this flag is not a question, okay? It's not. The soldier in me looks at this and goes, well, I mean, I don't like it at all, but that's what I fought for, And
we didn't. No, we didn't.
the
Well,
fact
we didn't
of the
fight
matter,
for that.
hang on,
Go
Boyd,
ahead.
hang
Go
on.
ahead.
The fact, because when you say in your own backyard, videoing it, posting it, stuff like that's not a protest. That's not protest. Now, inciting violence or causing problems or in a situation where somebody can get hurt or people can get hurt, but in a peaceful setting, protesting the government, protesting, whatever it was, things of that nature, I don't agree with this. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't, because my question is going to be, okay, what's next?
Is it illegal to break somebody's window? Are you allowed to do that?
Well, of course not. Of course it's illegal.
Okay.
I mean, but
okay.
but,
So can you take down flags in an area and burn them?
No,
public property. No,
hang on,
you can't.
hang on. No. I'm not talking about taking somebody's personal property or taking a flag off of a government building or out off the main street that's hanging on your pole in your hometown. And don't get it twisted. But if you go to
But that's
Walmart,
what they're talking about.
I agree. That's what I'm telling you. I agree with the verbiage of what he's saying. I agree with it.
That's why it's going to stand, though, because they worded it the correct way.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, if it's done that way by that executive order, I'm okay with it. But
Trump's lawyers have won every single executive order they put in. Even when people have put injunctions against it, the Supreme Court has ruled in the favor of the administration.
But here's the problem that I have with it, okay? Because he signed this executive order, because he just announced this, you're going to have 137,000 American flags being burned in the next 30 days.
Fine.
I mean, this was a hit or miss problem. Like, this was
and when they get locked up immediately, it will stop. Here's the thing. And somebody put it in the chat, and I agree with it. And this is what I wrote down. This is what the Trump administration wants. Through this executive order, they are now going to call on the Supreme Court to clarify First Amendment boundaries. See, what we've done is we've put freedom of speech in the same level of freedom of expression. We don't have unlimited freedom of expression. There are limits, because expression is not words, expression is actions. We've put the two on the same pedestal there, and that's not the same. It's the same reason we have freaking things that you cannot say. You can't yell fire in a crowded room. Now, there's just as good of a possibility that nothing happens when you yell fire in a crowded room, but there's also a possibility that someone could get hurt. So for the very possibility that it could incite a freaking like people running out and trampling and kill somebody. And why do they do that? Because it's happened. Same reason why it says, hey, it's against the law not to wear a seatbelt. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where does it end? We already have things, because your argument could be, well, why the crap can't I shoot heroin in my arm? It's my body. I should be able to do what I want to with it. If I want to get addicted on drugs, I can do it. No, that's illegal. Well, if I don't think that my kid should have to wear a seatbelt, then who are you, the government, to tell me my kid's got to wear a seatbelt when I'm driving down the road? We already have laws that says, no, you can't do certain things, and no, you can't say certain things. This is another one of those examples. It's not talking about people that want to put a video on TikTok and say whatever they want to say and that type of stuff. It's talking about specific actions in a large group of people, which is most of the time where this crap happens. And then you burn an American flag, and it is almost always the escalation moves up past that.
Yeah. And I have two points with this. Okay, number one,
White Knight 126. I appreciate you, my
that
friend.
was great. I saw that too. That's why I giggled. All right, all right. My first point is this. Okay, number one, people shouldn't be, whether it's a flag or a tree branch, you shouldn't be starting a fire in a public place where there are people anyway. Okay, regardless of what you're setting on fire, you shouldn't be setting anything on fire in a protest. But number two, I would have rather.
You're also not allowed just to start a fire. That's
exactly.
That's also a real thing.
Well, there's a burn ban right now, but I'm gonna set this flag on fire. But anyway, I would have rather seen an executive order saying that burning a pride flag, burning the is not a hate crime. I would have rather seen something like that, because you got people that are burning pride flags that are getting charged with hate crimes, yet nothing happens with this. So that's just I don't know. I think this is kind of a
I don't
weird
know
conversation to have,
the-
and there's no right answer.
The verbiage of it is specifically in instances that have the ability to incite violence or hostility. Like, that's it. Like, and that's what I don't understand, how people aren't getting this. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's saying that you don't have a right to take your own money and buy a flag, and if you want to burn it at your house, you can. That's the problem. We have freedom of speech. We can say whatever we want to say, but we're not free from the repercussions of saying whatever we want to say. So this idea that we have unlimited free speech to do whatever we want, well, yes, technically, but we don't have freedom from any repercussions of those words and the things we say. Look at Candace Owens right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I am a First Amendment guy. Do not get me wrong, but you are confusing freedom of speech versus freedom of expression. And in this country, we have abused, we have perverted freedom of expression across the board. Like, even Rumble has, you can't say you hope someone gets shot in the face and here's their address. And, I'm not saying even Rumble is like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, you know what I mean? There are limits.
Right.
I just
to
think it
this
would have been a
stuff.
lot easier to charge a person with arson, burning a flag in a crowded place. I think, I'm asking this question because I honestly don't know the answer, Graham. Maybe you do, but wouldn't it have been simpler to get a narrative, to get a decision by the Supreme Court on what we can do, what we can't do, before just throwing an executive order out there? Is that even a possible thing? Like, hey, can we get a decision on this before, we sign this? I mean, is it possible? Would it have been possible to do that?
But I promise you that executive order, I know how it works. Same thing with Pete and signing memos. They are not signed unless multiple legal lawyers look at it and go, yeah, this is going to hold up. Again, people have this misunderstanding that Trump's just writing this crap down and just, no, dude, they've been working on this thing for months. I'm telling you, it's going to hold up in court. And I'm telling you, it is not a violation of our First Amendment rights. It's not.